What's up, guys? We're here at AMC Town Square with Chasing Cinema.
Mr. James Hsu.
And awkwardly enough, we are without our trusted steed, Mr. Kent Wong, so we're going to be reviewing this on our iPhone.
But that's okay, because at this point, it looks just as good.
You cannot say it's not with the lighting's right. But we're here, we're going to be talking about what we thought of 50 Shades Freed.
Yes. 50 Shades Gray, 50 Shades Darker. What'd you think?
The truth?
Yes.
They're just both what they are.
Yes.
So if you are okay with that, you're going to enjoy these films. Mm-hmm. If you have problems with this all premise,
yes,
no matter what the movie's going to do, it's not going to win.
Yes.
You're just not going to like it.
Yeah.
So for me, 5 out of 10s, genuinely.
All two.
Yeah, I enjoy them. I get a kick out of it. I get a kick. I don't look at the movie all serious. I get a kick out of it, and I enjoy it, and I find it entertaining, and I snicker the whole time.
And so, what about the third and concluding chapter?
Oh, my review.
Your review.
Same thing. 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Like the movie. Okay, it's not good. It's not good. It's not a good movie. It's not going to win awards or anything like that. And some of the premises, you're just like, okay, well, this totally could have been diverted by doing like the part in the third act where I guess it's the main thing.
Confrontation.
The bank scene.
Yeah.
None of that's necessary.
Absolutely.
Because you could have, when someone called someone, it could have just been da da da, and the movie's done. Honestly, you can. So this movie isn't like, it's just. That's just what it is, bro.
Yeah.
It's just 50 Shades. So if you like 50 Shades, I will say you're going to enjoy this movie. If you haven't liked any of the other ones, this one does it no mercy either. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, this is the worst one. Because, I heard all about the 50 Shades hate, and, everyone was reading the book, and a lot of people complained that it was poorly written. I don't know. I didn't read it. But the first movie came out, right? And I was expecting, I was definitely weary, but I thought it was funny, and I thought it had some really charming moments, and there's a story there, right? Like, there is this guy who has a damaged past, and then as well he's into this thing that this, very, I don't want to say clean, that might be interpreted the wrong way, but this very, virgin-esque angel type character, is like, she's like, in a horror movie, they have the avenging angels, but, she's brought into this world she knows nothing about. And then there's an interesting dynamic of her trying to tame him and vice versa. So it's fine. I wasn't a fan of it. I think I gave it maybe a 1.5 out of 4 stars. The second one I thought was completely a waste of time. And it was just milking it, right? Like, we were just like, oh, this is just happening. Here's a couple more sex scenes, a couple more scenes about them being rich. And then we're going to throw in this storyline. If you've not seen them, we're going to spoil at least the second one. Then there's a publisher who loses his job and, wants revenge. And that's where the second one leads. But that doesn't happen until, the last 20 minutes of the second movie. And I remember being like, they wasted all my time for that last 20 minutes. 50 Shades Freed is just the same, but it builds hype towards this character Jack Hyde and what he's going to do, and he's the guy who's getting revenge, and literally their confrontation lasts maybe 90 seconds on screen, and it feels like a complete waste of time. The movie opens with them getting married, and at that point you don't need anything. Honestly, you take out the second movie, you take out the whole Jack Hyde character, you have him get married at the end of the first one, bada boom, bada bing, you have a good, concise, full story. Or, if you really want to stick with the Jack Hyde thing, which I just think is ridiculous. The guy was a fiction editor or an editor at the publishing house, and all of a sudden he knows how to break security and, plant these arson bombs, and it's just ridiculous. It's just, none of it's believable. I just don't find him as a necessary character, and if you are going to go that, then go with it 100%. There's another storyline here, which I won't get into because of spoilers, I'm assuming, but there is a little other subplot that doesn't really get dealt with until the last, I swear, about 25 minutes of this movie is relevant according to all these stories. The rest, we spend 20 minutes in Aspen with these characters that don't matter, that aren't doing anything to move the plot forward. It's just there, obviously to give everyone the sex scenes, but that's sizzled out, right? Okay, we saw it in the first one, we saw it in the second one, it was a big deal back then, but now it really doesn't have anything to attract us. And that got old, and it gets repetitive, and I just don't find anything in this movie to be necessary to continue their story.
So you're saying you want a 50 Shades 4?
No. And the thing though, it's I wasn't this person who walked into this movie with a pitchfork but how they milk this movie and how they, like, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Like, that's a franchise you could say that has milked the franchise. But at least they're, like, constantly trying to think of new characters and new things for people to do. This movie is literally just like, all right, but guess what? They're going to have sex again. And then we're going to throw in this character, but we're not going to talk to him about 45 minutes. Then he's going to be in there, but then he's not going to be in there. Then he's going to be in there for about 90 seconds, and it's going to be this really big competition, but it's really not. It's really underwhelming. And then, you know, okay, then we have Christian Grey's really complicated dark past. Something that I think, as someone who doesn't know the books, really wants to dive into, because I think there's interesting things there to explore. If we spend the time dedicated to that and we really look into who he is and go through his past and go through the ups and downs of him trying to accept who he is and where he came from, I think you have something there. But the movie tries to solve this issue in the matter of 5 minutes, and they just kind of solve it all happy-tatty. And I just, constantly all over the place, I just found this movie to be really inconsistent. But the majority of it, which of a 2-hour movie, 90 minutes of it's just not important. Nothing happens. So I'd say rewatch the first one. Don't bother, but if you're a fan, I'm assuming you're going to be here anyway. That's fine, but come on, let's admit it now. These need to. The only thing freed here is me. Now that this trilogy's over.
Wow. Well then.
And just know, like, I wasn't a Pitchfork hater before I started watching these. That's what I want to make clear. Like, this trilogy of films, 2 of which don't have anything happening, has made me a hater.
Well, that's Jason Cinema's review of 50 Shades.
Which means
Freed.
that we are 6 weeks in, and I've not seen one movie that is even on a 2 level out of 2 out of 4 stars.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's really bad. But next week, I suspect that's going to all change.
Ryan Coogler, Marvel Studios,
Michael B. Jordan,
number 18th film.
Chadwick Boseman, Lupita Nyong'o, Black Panther.
I'm pumped.
I have been so jacked for this movie since seeing Civil War. We talked about it in great lengths.
That's when
in
it
that
was,
review.
bro. When in Civil War, when Black Panther came out, it was just like
Black Panther was the coolest cat in that movie. He was
No pun intended.
No pun intended. He was so awesome, and I loved everything about him. I think he looks great. I think there's so much to that character, and I'm excited to see Marvel kind of take a political approach from a different aspect. We had probably the other most political movie was probably Winter Soldier. It was pretty like 70s political. This one obviously is taking a new direction, and I'm excited to see where they go with it. I'm also really excited for Rachel Morrison's cinematography. First woman to ever do a cinematography on a Marvel film. She was also nominated. She's the first woman ever nominated for cinematography for Mudbound. So I'm excited to see her work, because the one thing I keep hearing is that it doesn't look like any other Marvel movie. And if you could say anything about Marvel, they all look the same. So I'm excited to see that really get shaken up in a movie like this.
And this is the first film, or first time, a Marvel actor has made the cover of Time magazine.
And it's, what else? I mean, you're definitely the box office guy.
It's at 99% right now
it's at
on
90%.
Rotten Tomatoes.
It's sold out faster than any other.
It's sold the most amount of pre-sale tickets, more than Batman vs. Superman, which that alone is really should be a slap in the face.
Yes.
Not because I like Batman or love Batman and Superman, because those are really the 2 most iconic.
Yes, that's a movie everyone's been wanting for years.
And then
no
Black
one was
Panther.
saying, like, we need Black Panther. And I'm not saying that to be like, but that's the truth. Like, if you look at it draw-wise, Batman and Superman are huge moneymakers. Black Panther didn't come out until now because he wasn't a moneymaker. Like, they didn't think he had a big enough name.
You ask most 9 out of 10 people, though,
They didn't
even
know Black
know who
Panther.
it was until he came out on screen, and then they leaned over to the person and said, who's that?
Yeah,
So.
and absolutely, and obviously he's blown up. I mean, because people like me, I self-admittedly only really read Batman comic books. I did dabble in comic books, but I wasn't super familiar with Black Panther beyond like Wakanda and the basic storyline. And I saw him in Civil War, and I just completely fell in love with the character, and I'm so excited to see him get his movie. And Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler obviously have done great things.
Creed,
Fruitvale
Station,
which was also a really, really good film.
Both those.
And Michael B. Jordan, I think, has a lot of talent, and I'm excited to see him in something besides Fantastic Four. So I'm really hoping to see what he could do with this movie. I'm really pumped, and I want you guys to be here with us. AMC Town Square, 10 p.m. next Thursday. I don't know the day off the top of my head. 16th? 15th? 15th here at AMC Town Square. Reserve your tickets in the comment sections below. Text this guy. Check out his channel. He's going to teach you a thing or two. But make sure you're here for next week Black Panther, because it is about to shake the year up. I will say this. 6 weeks, not a good movie. About 6 weeks in last year, wasn't a good
Get Out,
movie.
right?
And then I watched my favorite movie of the year. So
Get Out,
maybe
yeah.
we'll see that repeat. I don't know. We'll have to find out.
ChasingCinema.com is known as
The Film Lovers website.